Okay, everyone, the time is now 5:05. I would like to officially start our meeting. My name is Ayabami Bell Torrance, and I am the Outreach Ambassador for DDOT. Thank you all for joining us for our first community input meeting of 2022. So thank you for taking your time out, and we look forward to hearing from you and sharing our latest updates as well. I would like to turn it now over to our introductions, and I'm going to start with our Executive Director of Transit.
Hello, Michael Oglesby, Executive Director of Transit. I'm excited to hear what everybody has to say today.
Okay, and then I'm just going to go as I see everyone. Ms. Wimberly.
Good evening. My name is Zandra Wimberly. I am Assistant Director of Administration for DDOT.
Ms. Moore.
Good evening. I am Simone Moore, the General Manager of Transdev, and I manage the Paratransit Service, Detroit Metrolift.
Mr. Barkley.
Good evening. My name is Melvin Barkley, Assistant Director of Operations for DDOT.
Mr. Lozen. You're muted.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Don Lozen. I'm the Regulatory Compliance Officer for ADA.
Mr. Zek.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Richard Zek. I'm the Chief Safety Officer for DDOT.
Ms. Pittman.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lois Pittman, Deputy Director, Operations and Maintenance for DDOT.
Ms. Walsh.
Good evening, everybody. I am Marianne Walsh. I'm the Deputy Director for Administration for DDOT.
Ms. Schofield.
Good afternoon, or good evening, everybody. I am Gina Schofield from the Scheduling Service Development Department.
Ms. Williams.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jasmine Williams. I'm the Customer Service Supervisor at DDOT.
Okay. Mr. Square. Mr. Square.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Artie Square, and I'm the General Manager for Plant Maintenance.
Okay. Mr. Dolly.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mike Dolly. I'm the Superintendent of Rolling Stock.
Ms. King.
Hello, everyone. Pamela King, Regulatory Compliance Officer. Welcome.
Chief.
Good evening, everyone. Chief Ricky Brown. I apologize. I'm on another Zoom of the Detroit Police Board of Police Commissioners. So I'm multitasking, and I do believe Lieutenant Cross will be representing Transit Police.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Patronik, excuse me.
Yes, good evening. I'm Steve Patronik. I'm Executive Director of Service Development and Scheduling.
And Mr. Joy.
Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Gio Joy. I work as a vehicle maintenance manager.
Okay. I have called all I see. If I missed anyone, please go ahead and unmute yourself and let me know. All right. Seeing none, it's time now for our meeting rules, which are pretty simple. The public comment will take place following our presentation. You are limited to 2 minutes, and I'll announce that once the time is up. So we just ask that you please respect that time and note that you will be muted for going over. As always, no personal attacks or foul language will be tolerated. And I do, before we go into the presentation, also have a few reminders to share. By participating in the Zoom meeting, you are granting permission for your name, image, likeness, as well as audio and video recordings to be used by DDOT. If you would like to request a comment, you can simply raise your hand using the raise hand function. If you are using the dial-in only phone option, you just enter the *9 to serve as that raise hand feature to request to speak or to ask a question. And we'll also be accepting questions via the chat. You can submit comments or questions to DDOT staff and that will be open during the public comment section. Before asking a question or commenting, please be sure to unmute your audio. We ask that you state your name and your organization if you represent one. Following your comments, please mute your audio. When it comes to our cashier office update, we do want to let you know that the DDOT cashier's office is located at 1301 East Warren Avenue is currently closed until further notice, and that's due to building problems. Now, riders can visit the Rosa Parks Transit Center downtown to buy passes. For their mask usage, it has been extended through March 18th of this year. That's the federal government. They extended the requirements for travelers to wear masks on public transportation, and that includes buses. Again, that is through March 18th, and that's in response to the ongoing risks of COVID-19 pandemic. When it comes to our scheduling and service development updates, since the November service changes took place, our service coverage has improved from 80% to 90% or more. And when we say the service coverage, that includes actual and scheduled revenue miles. The comprehensive operational analysis that's on the way, that's the COA, we are set to begin outreach for that in February. So stay tuned for more information. And side news that the electric buses will be here soon. There will be a total of 4 electric buses, but they will not all be rolled out at the same time. We do plan to place them on Route 31, that's MAC, initially, and we will evaluate how they perform in our operating conditions. When it comes to our transit police update, at this time, just note that our additional transit officers are being hired. Just good news. For safety, a safety manager has been hired to augment the safety staff. Safety is supporting our operations and maintenance divisions on reviewing and ensuring that those electric buses that I just talked about are ready for service. When it comes to paratransit, also a reminder regarding masks. Masks are required to be worn over the nose and mouth by drivers and riders in the vehicles during Detroit Metro Lift transport. Now, boarding will be denied for refusal to wear a mask. And if you do not have one, one will be provided for Detroit Metro Lift. Also, you may recall that we mentioned the callback feature. Well, the date to enable that callback feature for riders has been postponed to spring. So again, stay tuned for more information on that. The EcoLane app is up and running. In case you missed it, the EcoLane mobile app for paratransit users that went live in October. And quality assurance supervisors, they continue to go out on the road to ensure continuous quality performance and improvements. Also, customer service agents and dispatchers are wanted for MetroLift service. If you would like to apply or let someone know, you have them visit www.transdevna.com. For operations, DDOT has recently experienced an uptick in absences due to numerous reasons. As a result, we recognize and are addressing instances of longer wait times for some buses. And also for your awareness, we offer weekly COVID-19 testing and vaccinations at our terminals for all DDOT staff. And DDOT is also hiring. So for more information about DDOT employment opportunities, please visit detroitmi.gov/DDOT. Please note that DDOT is an equal employment opportunity employer. Please spread the word. Great news is that 100 years of Detroit Transit. DDOT is gearing up to celebrate the 100 years of municipal operation. We'll be kicking that off with this milestone by sharing photos and memories from DDOT and the Department of Street Railways over the years. Please stay tuned for that. We'll have more information once we have that launched so that you can view those items and memorabilia. Our upcoming meetings, the next local advisory council meeting that takes place Tuesday, February 15th at 10 a.m. And the next community input meeting is Thursday, February 17th, the same time, 5 p.m. And that is all the updates that I have at this time. You can always find more information on our website. Again, detroitmi.gov/DDOT. And we ask that you follow us on social media. We're Instagram, Facebook, Twitter @RIDDOT. I am going to turn it over now to my colleague Kristen to call our first person. I'll also be opening up the chat momentarily. Again, please kind of limit the chat for those who are unable to ask a question, but we'll be monitoring that as well. And we'll just go as we see everyone. And we do again ask that you please respect the time.
Great, thank you. The first hand up I see is Mr. Cunningham. You should be able to unmute
Yes, there was
yourself.
an email sent, and I think as Ms. Moore, you replied back about my application for MetroLift. I've been disabled activist for at least 13 years. Things are just getting a little bit worse. So it was filled out by my doctor and sent in. He looked over it. He looked clear to him. I asked for assistance, and I sent you an email and never got that back. Also to Oglesby and the mayor, I've had transit police for no reason roll around my car, check for a handicap placard and stuff like that. And I don't care what you say, it seems like intimidation to me. And I'm not intimidated. I'm gonna continue to be an activist. I'm gonna continue to speak up. I'm not being paid. I'm not on salary. I don't have any future aspirations, so I don't have to sugarcoat, and I will not be on puppet strings ever. I do respect this body. I appreciate it. I passed out 100 flyers today. Printed them out of the library, trying to get some new callers to call in and speak about what I've been hearing in the taxi cab and speaking to people, which I get out and talk to people. I'm not afraid of them on the grassroots level. And there's many problems and things have not improved after November 15th, as they said. I've been telling people about MetroLift. To keep it simple, I've been just telling them to call 313-923-1300, and then y'all can handle it from there, and they can direct them in the right spot. But again, I need assistance filling out my MetroLift and what specifically is the problem. I sent an email and did not get a response. An attorney sent a letter to you guys and I got a response on that, but that was on another issue. So anyway, I digress. I do thank you guys. I do not see a clock, but I'm sure Ms. Torrance, who's been around a long time, will let me know. Nice smile. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. You had 20 seconds. Are you done?
Oh, so at any rate, thank you. Happy New Year, Mr. Oglesby and the other staffers I don't know. Sincerely, Director Oglesby, Happy New Year, sir. Sincerely.
Thank you. Ayubami, if you don't mind, I would like to respond to Mr. Cunningham. This is Simone Moore with TransDev. Thank you very much for the follow-up, Mr. Cunningham. We did not receive anything in an email form regarding your complaint, but as far as your application is concerned, the identification was missing, and that's mandatory for certification. We need a copy of your valid ID, whether it's a state ID card. Some people have driver's license, but that must be included. And then we need an emergency contact.
That's what I was asking specifics. Is there any way that you could just send me an email requesting that, and I'll go to Kinko's. The lady know I'm slow. She'll hand her the thing. She know what to do, and she'll send it for me. And then that solves it, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, I'll forward that email to you today now. Thank you.
Though there was no question posed to me, I just want to make sure that I address Mr. Cunningham. Mr. Cunningham, Michael Oglesby, Executive Director of Transit.
I know who you are, Honorable
Okay,
sir.
brother.
Happy New
Yes,
Year.
sir. Happy New Year to you too. Just wanted to make sure you knew I was responding to you. I'm not familiar with the placard issue. I'll talk to the chief, or the chief's rep can talk about that. But I can assure you it's nothing that I knew anything about other than you telling me right now.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Mr. Cunningham, this is Chief Brown, Transit, please. Mr. Torrance, may I respond real quick?
Absolutely. We need to mute someone. Is that Mr. Cunningham?
Chief, you might need to mute your other meeting.
Okay, thank you.
I'm on several calls.
Oh, okay, I thought I heard.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, Mr. Cunningham, regarding any kind of handicap plaque that goes through the state, your handicap license and things of that nature, that goes through the Secretary of State, as you know, I'm sure.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
I was at a CVS store downtown and a transit police came out of their way and then went around my car and looked for, and I said, what was the purpose of the transit police looking at my placard when I have a customer in CVS? I found that incident and other incidents as intimidation. I have a valid handicap placard, certified MRIs. The state is on state record. I am disabled, but it was so strange that a transit officer would take time out with other issues to check and see if I have a handicap placard on my taxi cab. And I found that to be intimidation, sir. No disrespect to you. I recorded it and I put it on my social media. It is what it is. And I also put my email in the chat for the email so I can send you a copy of my ID. Thank you so much, kindly.
You're welcome. I will address you personally.
The next hand up I see is Robert Pawlowski.
Good evening. And Happy New Year to everyone. It's been a long 2 months. Hope everybody is doing well. Robert Pawlowski here, regular bus rider on Smart DDOT Ann Arbor Area Transit. The first thing I'd like to start off with is, so as I'm pretty sure all my fellow riders know, that DDOT did a partnership with MOGO, say 2019, regarding better ways to get around the city of Detroit. And MOGO was the first one. It was a pretty good partnership. It was really well done, and it did help riders get around the city of Detroit. To make it a lot better, why don't we have any partnerships with any of the scooter companies around here? For example, Spin, Bird, or Lime, to give riders more options to get around downtown Detroit. As you all know, the People Mover is not running right now, so people either have to walk or hop on a small line. And now with this reduced schedule, it makes it harder for people to get around, which especially for people that, live not too far or they work somewhere close in downtown Detroit. Having the availability to make a partnership with DDOT and either Spin or Bird to give riders an option to use DART passes or something close to it to get around the city of Detroit, to get around downtown easier than having to jump on another line, will help riders and also boost more ridership on Spin scooters and Bird scooters than what it is now. I hope that, I know this is probably an RTA question, but getting DDOT involved with this, because you've done most of the partnerships than the RTA has. And I know the Connect bike to bus thing is, slowly progressing within our region. And I hope DDOT could look into this as a starting point, another partnership with more agencies to make our region, especially downtown Detroit, more easier to get around with public transportation and other options, especially electric scooters. I have just bought an electric scooter and I've loved every second of owning one.
That is time.
And thank you.
Let me briefly address that. We have a new chief of mobility. His name's Tim Slesser. We've had long discussions on just these items. I'll make sure that he's on next time and we'll be able to get into more detail. But yes, our goal is to start looking at options like first mile, last mile, or opportunities for to be able to use MOGO scooters and even some of the new updated type scooter / buses, bikes. I was at a TRU presentation on clean, just being clean in the area. And I was really surprised to see so much advancement in that area. So we intend on utilizing that and connecting that to DDOT. So stay tuned and we may reach out to you for a little help, but we're looking forward to everybody's input.
Thank you. And just brief one thing. I just bought an electric scooter and I've enjoyed every second of it. And getting more people involved with this will definitely bring more people to invest in electric scooter, and it makes it easier for them to get around town. Because that's the other thing that, you know, we can bring into the mix. You know, they are pricey right now because of the gas prices and the cost right now, and everybody's, you know, fleeing for an electric scooter. So, you know, this is a starting point, and it also gives more opportunities for people to look into it, invest, and also look into helping our environment as well. But definitely look into it. It's something really worth trying. And it's good to hear from you, Mr. Oglesby. So keep up the good work.
You got it. We're on the same page. I need to talk to you about how this electric scooter has electric hand warmers, because I don't know how you're out there right now riding in it. So we're going to have to chat, because I can't even walk to my car. But yes, we're on the same page and we're going to get there.
Put some gloves on and I think it'll be all right. A gloves, a hat, regular winter clothing. But if you want to put hot hands on there, it might work.
Before we call our next person, I do want to read a question from Miss Marguerite in the chat. She's saying, Happy New Year to all. What's going on with the operators who are pulling close to the curb? Tired of the same problems? So can someone address that?
If you're having operators, that is part of our training course, teaching operators how to pull up to the curb. If you have experienced any operator doing it, please give a call in and we'll get out to look at them. I'll also talk to our service inspectors on the road to have them look for that going on.
I'd also like to say that I've made that a priority with the seeker riders to make sure they're paying attention. A lot of people know the trials of the Dexter route, especially on Cass Avenue around Wayne State. And I do know that some of the drivers I've talked to are aware of your particular situation, but it's hard, especially on the Dexter route, to always be able to pull right up to the curb because of the way people park and just the logistics of getting around. But it is something, Marguerite, that's on everybody's radar. And we're, you know, we've been talking about it, training about it, and trying to make sure that everybody's in compliance.
Great, thank you. The next hand up I see is Tajuan.
Yes, it's Tawan, by the way. But yeah, I had learned about this meeting, getting in the taxi cab from a young guy who looked to be disabled. So I know if it's hard for me to get around on the bus, I know it's hard for him. But last night, just for instance, last night I got off of work about 9 o'clock at night. I got off a little earlier than I usually do. So when I got to the bus stop, and I track the bus with the transit app, because usually during the day is pretty accurate. But after after hours, it starts to become 3 and 4 hours. I'll be waiting with the same group of people every night, constantly. And it's always super late, I always get home late. Versus, and I already got to take an hour ride to even get on the bus. So by the app saying like the bus may be here in 4 or 5 minutes, when that time comes, the bus that comes, it goes to not in service, and then I guess they may do a shift change, which I understand, because it may be like that with every job, but at the same time, a shift change doesn't take 2 to 3 hours. That's like absolutely ridiculous to be outside in the cold. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous, and it's really not fair to us as the writers. And we have to wait, and we have to pay our hard-earned money to ride the bus every night and every day to get to and from work. And like for some of us, the bus is our only dependency of transportation. So it's really not fair that we have to wait the extra time to get on the bus. But that's my only issue that I have with it. Like I said, I can reiterate it again. Like it's not fair. It's I don't know. It's a lot that goes on with that, and it's not cool.
That is
We be
time.
tired.
That is time. Noted.
Mr. Juan, if you could let me know what bus line that you were having this issue on, so I can look into it a little bit further. You know, if it's you said it's constantly happening and it's a 2-3 hour delay, I really want to look into that because that shouldn't be occurring.
It's the Grand River bus. Same time every night.
And what time is that, sir?
It's always usually after 9 o'clock, between the later hours, 9, 10, 11 o'clock.
And where are you catching the bus at on Grand River?
At Grand River and what's this, Cass by the transit center?
Okay, we will look into it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Also, this is Mary Ann Walsh. If you would, sir, when you experience difficulties, please call our customer service line. I'll have my staff put the customer service number into the chat room right now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. The next hand up I see is Ms. Richella.
Good evening, Happy New Year, Ms. Torrance and Director Oglesby and all other DOT staffers. I really just want to address, what we're spending per capita at $76 per capita, and the average is $211 with Cleveland at $216. That's a shame in an urban city like Detroit. The transit system is still in the 20th century. We haven't even progressed into the 21st century. Yes, we're getting electric buses. We need more of that. We need more environment-friendly buses. But we also need more money put per capita. Without that, we're not going to do anything. When everybody else is spending over almost 75% more than us per capita, that doesn't make any sense at all. In a majority Black city, an urban city. We done put money into bike lanes and everything else. Transportation is essential to the people that don't have cars. And there's plenty of us here in this city. Director Oglesby, I'm imploring you to ask the mayor, to ask the council, to appropriate more dollars so our transportation system can come up to date. It's an atrocity. Another thing I wanted to say, did you partake into the interview that we did with Amelia Davis? Did you see it, Director Oglesby? DPP is not here to bring down DDOT or talk low about DDOT. We're here to work with DDOT. We're out here listening to the central bus riders. They're telling us, do surveys, all kind of things. You know as yourself that me, Bernard Lair, we all get out there, Cunningham, get out here passing out PPE, giving them the information on things that's going on with DDOT. If it's a cancellation, if it's a DDOT meeting, whatever's going on. But we need more input from y'all. We got to get these things out to the people. You got to listen to these writers and start getting some of these things done. I know money is limited, but we need to ask this city to give us more money for this transportation system. If we can give all the things
that is time. And I see Steve hands up.
Yes, Steve Patrick, Executive Manager of Service Development and Scheduling. That study that you saw that showed $75 per capita for Detroit, that was comparing metro area to metro area. It wasn't comparing city to city. So the city of Detroit spends way more than $75 per capita on public transportation. It's just that the rest of Metro Detroit spends far less than that. And that's why we're behind the other metro areas. Yeah, so.
But let me add to that, because I believe it or not, Richelle, I understand and I agree with you. We need to do something. The problem right now that I think people are feeling, especially when it comes to increasing service, isn't necessarily a financial problem because, believe it or not, I have the money for 100 more bus operators. I just can't get 100 more bus. If I get 100 more bus operators, if you can help me figure that out, get people to actually want to be a bus operator, we can increase service instantly. We have the vehicles, but really our problem is more bus operators. So the financial issues that you're talking about, yes, we do need to invest to go beyond how we were pre-pandemic. But to get to pre-pandemic and beyond, we have the funding for it. But I'm right there with you hand in hand. We still need to start pointing out a lot of the things that are going on in other places. We need to have more advancement in the way we do fare collection. We need more advancement in alternate fuel vehicles. We really need to look at what the rider wants. We need to put more money into outreach. Maybe that's what it is. So we need to really start doing that. We've started doing it to the best of our ability. And as you know, this pandemic has been a bear on us, and this new Omicron pandemic wave has just hit us again, and we're fighting through it. But we are fighting for you, and we do hear you. We want to work with you. And moving forward, when we start talking about the ARPA funds, because, excuse me, because at this time, the money's sitting there and there has been no decisions and there will be no decisions without your input. I think that's where we can get heavy into those discussions.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Renard, your hand is the next one I see up.
Okay. Happy New Year, everyone. Am I being heard clearly?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Renard. I'm a District 6 resident and long-term resident of the city of Detroit and long-term writer as well too, and I represent the transit justice team. My question, and I just really want a direct answer to this. I'm very encouraged about the fact that we have a timeline for this comprehensive operation analysis, which is really just reshaping our system. Is that going to be in tandem, Director, with the ARP or American Rescue Plan hearings? I'm going to call right now with the city of Detroit in District 6 with my district manager and our council representatives talking about the budget for the city of Detroit right now. I'm doing double duty. So my thing is, when are we going to have opportunities as bus riders, like we do in this forum, to convey our ideas for how we want ARP or American Rescue Plan dollars to be reinvested into DDOT and to restore our service as well too. So if it's not a funding issue, there's a lot of other issues that we want to have input on. Why the opaqueness? Like, can we get involved on that? And it just seems like we've been pulled along and saying, we're going to have hearings about this, we're going to have hearings about this, and we heard nothing. So are we combining the efforts? Or is this just going to be up to the department on how they best see fit on spending the American Rescue Plan dollars? Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to try to decipher the questions throughout what you were saying. First of all, again, we have not set how the ARPA funds are going to be spent. As a matter of fact, the department will not set them. What the department will do is set buckets and possible opportunities, and you, the public, will give the input as to whether it makes sense, whether you have additional ideas, whether to add it. We will then go back and work together to come up with what the total dollar amount is to equal the $51 million. And as you know, believe it or not, $51 million is not a lot of money. We probably need a lot more than that based on the ideas, not only that I've heard from the public, but also from you, Renard. I looked at some of your documents, and if I priced that out, it was well over 51 million. So we'll be able to use it as a starting point. As far as a comprehensive operational analysis goes, they're sort of going to run in tandem, but I will say that we're going to start the ARPA discussion ahead of time, because even though they run in tandem, the ARPA funding is going to be focused more on one-time spending that can take place over a 3-year period, where the comprehensive operational analysis is going to be laying out the future of public transportation. So yes, you should be interested in both, but I anticipate that we're going to start our first meetings on the ARPA funding the first week of February. One of the reasons why excuse me. I'm a little under the weather. The reason why it's taking a while for us to move forward with that is because we're getting ready to launch it in December, and then the holidays came about. And as you know, you don't want to get the ball rolling on something and then the holidays kick in, and then the New Year's kicks in, and then it kind of all of the great ideas fall to the wayside. So we're going to start it hopefully the first week or the second week of February, and then we're going to have constant meetings on how we're going to spend the funding. We have not made any decisions, and the funding is sitting there and will not be touched until you have input.
Director, thank you for that. And also, I'm really glad to hear that the department is going to be purchasing some electric buses. We did hear that. I would just make a suggestion to prioritize heavily impacted neighborhoods that deal with pollution, and perhaps prioritizing routes that touch the state fairgrounds, that we use those electric buses as well too. But thank you, Director, for your answer. I want to make sure other people have a chance to speak.
Yes, and to follow up on that, on the electric buses, as you know, we started with 4 electric buses. It's a pilot program that's coming. We put in for a grant for an additional 4, 2 of them 60-foot articulated electric buses that I talked about before, and 2 more 40-foot vehicles to potentially look at other manufacturers to see how their performance is going to be in this weather. These are pilot programs because we want dependability. We want these vehicles to be able to perform the same as our clean diesel vehicles. So we are looking at where the locations of these are going to be. And again, we're going to get y'all's input on that too. So just stay tuned, be patient with us. But the good news is, as I promised, it's all coming.
Great, thank you. The next hand up is a phone number ending in 985.
Yes, good evening. How's everybody?
Hello.
Everybody can hear me?
Yes, we hear you. You can go ahead.
Oh, good, good. Yeah, I was trying to get in earlier. This is Kenneth Johnson here with Councilman Coleman A. Young, the second's office. I was trying to get in through introductions, but I mean, this public comment is good too, because as a lot of these citizens are stating, having a lot of problems with those bus times. That's some, I don't know if anyone from your office can, if we can get, or we want to set up a meeting to sit down and discuss. If there's anything we can do, we need more buses. You know, what is the real problem? So the councilman would like to get some feedback and possibly do whatever it is he needs to do from his office to better improve that system. So I just want everyone to know that. You can reach us at 313-224-4254. I don't want to take up much of your meeting, but Councilman Coleman A. Young II, we do want to sit down and talk with someone from DDOT. So I turn the meeting back over to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And if you have access to chat, can you put that number in the chat or repeat it one more time?
Oh, okay, Madam Chair. That'd be 313-224-4254.
Okay, thank you.
And my name is Kenneth. Kennis. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please allow me to retort, if you will. I had a brief conversation with Councilmember Young, and we have a one-on-one meeting set up to have a discussion already. I would ask if that's something that you want to participate in, talk to Mr. Young, and I have no problem including any answer during that meeting.
Thank you. The next hand is Jacqueline Austin.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Jacqueline Austin. I reside in the city of Detroit. I am a transit justice writer and advocate for Detroit People's Platform. My question, comment, and concern, if someone can hear this, if they're listening, while I do appreciate everyone doing their due diligence, I also do appreciate the interpreters that are here. This is one of the asks that we've been asking prior to COVID. Also, I'd like to ask of your communications data issues that we're still having regarding issuance of cards, fare boxes, time, what the fares are, the reapplying of applications for those that are not able to get out into the public physically to reapply for their bus passes, etc. How are you emailing that information? We've asked that, and we'd like that information sent to us. We did suggest marketing. I don't know if they're aware of that, but we did prior ask you guys to disseminate that information to us via email. We know that you have a database of information where we apply for the cards so that we can get on the buses safely, accurately. While we do appreciate that, I still yet have not seen that information other than to help you guys move this thing along efficiently for the ADA community. But thanks again for having an interpreter, and moving forward, let's keep this momentum going so that we can service everybody accurately. And
You just dropped out.
Oh, I think we lost her.
Do we have anything we can address at this time? Okay, we will note it and do a follow-up. Let's go
The
ahead.
next hand is Hank Kelly.
Hello, good evening. I just wanted to introduce myself to the folks on the call, staff as well as writers. My name is Hank Kelly. I'm a senior policy analyst for Councilmember Santiago Romero. I'm a regular transit rider, and I wanted to say on behalf of the council member's office that transportation is very important to District 6, and we look forward to finding ways to understand DDOT issues and support transit in Detroit. We will try to cover this community input meeting as often as possible, and we would also love to be included as a stakeholder in the upcoming comprehensive operational analysis. For the residents and riders on the call, if you would like to contact our office, we can be reached at 313-224-2450 or council member Gabriella at detroitmi.gov. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next hand is Amy Z.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for the time to spend late to get our feedback. I live in the Midwest neighborhood. Start from 2018. I'm a transportation engineering graduate student from Wayne State. However, not the specialty of transit. But I have 4 things I want to bring up during this time of chance to speak. So the first one is about the route problem that when I trying to use the bus transit, I found out I can not have any bus reach to the DTW airport at the weekend. There's no bus running. Secondly, the where I live along close to the Tireman route, there's no closed route to Wayne State. So that's the route problem. Secondly is the user experience of the bus stop locations. A little further, we have I have 2 streets. One is Joy and another one is the Warren. And we have the bus to go to Wayne State different area of campus. However, those bus stops are very far away. So if there are different schedules and we have to bet for one side, if this one missing and we cannot walk all the way to the other side to go to catch another bus. I hope that if there's a possible to gather, a few bus stops at the same location. The third one, the weekend shift is not very convenient for and I'm experiencing this as well. My roommate used to experience. He's a medical school student. He have to grow the cells or animals during every day, not including weekend, but in the weekend times, there's no bus always, or he has to ride the bicycle to the campus. And that is give him the trouble that his advisor even complained about that. So he have to move back to the campus so that he can keep his job.
That is 2 minutes. That is 2 minutes.
Okay. So yeah, the three questions maybe can address if more time I can express the first.
If we have remaining time, we will come back to you. Steve, I see your hand up. I don't know if that was from before.
No, I just wanted to inform that there's the Wayne County Airport is outside of DDOT's service area, but it's in SMART's service area. So SMART has a bus called the Michigan Fast that runs up Michigan Avenue and ends up at the airport serving both of the passenger terminals. So that's the bus you need, and it goes mostly on Michigan Avenue, stopping outside of Rosa Parks Transit Center and most major cross streets along Michigan. So, and then as far as places in Wayne State that don't have bus stops, please let us know where those places are, where you want to go that does not have a bus stop at Wayne State.
I study at Wayne State, but I do not live in Wayne State. I live in Midwest neighborhood in a single house.
Okay, yeah, let us know what your location is, and then you can we can request a bus stop for you if it's on a route, or we can look at the routes in that area when we do the comprehensive operational analysis starting next month.
Yeah, another thing, I know you were referring to the bus 261, right? I used to use that bus to airport all the time, but when I checked the Google, I think it's not offering it at the weekend, even though that's not DDOT's route. There's no route. I have to take a lift. There's only one option.
It should be running on weekends. You might want to call SMART because last time I checked it was maybe, I know they did recent service cuts, but I'm not sure.
Okay, I thought it should be because
might want to check with them.
Yeah.
And we have a representative from SMART in the chat, so they're listening.
Okay, great, thanks.
Great, thank you. The next hand is Mr. Tansley.
Hi, thanks for the time today. I only wanted to ask about the technical upgrades that have been happening over the last year or two. I was hoping DDOT could release a document of some sort which would detail what that update included and how things have improved. Because in our previous meetings that we've had over the last year or two, it sounded like that this technical upgrade was a very big deal for DDOT on the back end. But I'm having a hard time explaining it to anybody wondering how DDOT is working to improve service, especially in times like this when we're trying to advocate for the bus to other people in our community. And so I'm just hopeful that DDOT could be more forthcoming with this sort of information as far as for what they're doing and how they're doing things so that we can help explain that to other people, particularly around the technical upgrades that have happened over the last couple of years.
We don't have, unless someone else can speak, we don't have anyone from technology on, but again, we can note that.
Yeah. Well, I can also let you know about the DDOT Bus Tracker app, which is something that you can use that's very useful. And now most of the technology is just a tool. You know, it doesn't put more service on the street, but it helps us to keep track of the service, and we're still transitioning to this new technology, so we haven't reached the full benefit.
Okay, yeah, if you could just have like one document detailing that full upgrade process, what you've done, what you're looking to do, and kind of where we're at with it, that would be really helpful. Because it sounds like there's a lot that's being worked on. I know that you have been working on an application that's been released, but I've also heard things like call center improvements or like onboard GPS improvements, things like that. Just having an understanding for exactly what's been going on with that, because it's been talked about as if like a general technical upgrade, but understanding exactly what's going on and what will happen, what to look forward to, would be really excellent.
Fantastic point, fantastic idea, and fantastic question. So I believe what you're referring to is when we have discussions and we've said things like clever devices or HASTUS, which Mr. Petronik had indicated are more internal things that we are putting in place to upgrade how we do scheduling and how we provide additional service. But it also does include GPS installations, which are linked to the mobile tracking system. I think it's a good idea to perhaps put something on our website. So we may put kind of a technology update on our website. So take a look pretty soon, and we'll just give an idea and a list of everything that we've done and where we're going. I will tell you that when you go into technology, it's not something that's fixed overnight. We've been working on it for a while, and we still don't have it down pat yet, because when you're going to a new system with new technology, especially scheduling software, you know, we run into some kinks. You start changing over the ridership numbers, start being reported differently. So we're still working internally, but we will put it on the website. A very good suggestion.
Thank you.
Thank you. And the next hand up I see is Stephen Howering.
Hi, how's everyone doing today? So what I want to ask is about the outreach and the hiring, because I know True Transit has mentioned that you guys haven't really been doing enough with the outreach and kind of trying to seek more drivers. Because, for example, other cities are having commercials offering bonuses. I just really haven't seen much of that. And really, I mean, it's one of the ways that could help this driver shortage crisis.
Mr. Howard, this is Mary Ann Walsh. We are exhausting all avenues to let everybody know that we are hiring. We actually use this forum to advertise that we are hiring. In our presentation that we did at the beginning of this meeting, we put our website on there to alert people, not only in this room, but tell everybody that you know to go to our website and look at our opportunities. We're also working with the City of Detroit's recruitment department to reach as many people as possible. We're dovetailing with other city departments. We're doing job fairs. We're going to neighborhoods. We will be looking into commercials on the radio, again, using our city resources. And please, like I said, I can't say it enough, tell everybody we are hiring.
What about like bonuses? I mean, there's a lot more.
So let me mention that, yes, there's a lot to the outreach. First, let me simply say that this problem isn't just a transit problem. This is a problem with all of the departments in the city of Detroit. I know GSD is having a problem getting people. We're all really working hard trying to get as many people as possible. We are looking at incentives. As a matter of fact, we already did one incentive to the operators. It was an attendance bonus. We don't believe in giving out money without just to give it out, just for coming to work. So we want to make sure that there's something attached to it to be able to provide the appropriate transportation for the rider themselves. So we are looking at everything from retention to potential bonuses, and perhaps that may be something that's discussed in the future. But as far as from a financial standpoint, I don't see that as an issue of having the money. It's really what we can do as a city and how we can work together with SMART. I recently talked to a few CEOs in the industry to see what they're doing. And some of them have put out some large bonuses and they're still having the same problem. The problem with hiring employees is transit operators and mechanics is a problem throughout the United States in public transportation. So it's not just here. So we're exhausting and doing everything that everyone else is doing, but we need to take it to the next level. And perhaps one of them is some type of bonus, but it has to be attached to performance to provide transportation so you get the service that's needed. So yes, we are looking at all avenues and options. I'm hoping to have something soon to be able to not only talk to the union and the operators about, but also to talk to the riding public. So just stay tuned, but we are looking at and exhausting all avenues. We do not have an outreach problem from that standpoint.
Because when I go on Google News and look up bus shortages, I mean, the only major city that will appear is Detroit. And really the only city that has had to cut services because of that.
Unfortunately, that's not factual. First of all, we don't have a bus shortage. We have enough buses. We don't have enough
driver shortage, I mean.
Right. Okay, good. Well, bus driver shortage. As you recently saw, even SMART had announced that they had not only a bus operator shortage, but they announced that they cut service. In addition, they indicated to be able to track it, look at the tracker. We were ahead of it. And we indicated that we were going to reduce service to the amount of operators that we have and still provide the same revenue miles, which we have sustained. We're at about 90%. So we're doing a great job because not only are we saying check the tracker, but we also have a schedule that matches the service today. In addition, I don't have the list in front of me. I know my staff does, but I have them gather where this is an issue at other places, and the list is 2 pages. So again, when I say not factual, there's no disrespect. I'm just saying that perhaps there's something that we should put on the website to indicate such. If you have time, I'll be doing a state of DDOT on Tuesday. At the TRU meeting, and I'm glad that you mentioned this. Perhaps I'll put a slide up and talk to it, and you'll be able to say you influenced it. How's that?
Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you.
Super.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. The next hand is phone number ending in 504.
Hello? Hello,
Yes,
can you
we
hear
can
me?
hear you now.
Yes, we can.
Okay. My name is Lisa. I just have 2 small suggestions. Have you considered installing a vending machine outside of the Rosa Park terminal to dispense DDOT paper schedules, where a person can walk up and just push a button that matches the bus route to dispense the paper schedule they need, which is more convenient than walking inside the Rosa Park Info Center to retrieve a paper schedule. My second suggestion is cleaning of the DDOT buses needs to be more frequent. The handlebars for sure. What about an automatic overhead spray mist or overhead sprinkler that sprays a small amount of disinfectant solution to sanitize the passenger seats and metal handlebars when the buses unload at the Rosa Park terminal and while the drivers take their short break? This would help the shortage of human staff as far as bus cleaning. Thank you.
Good afternoon. This is Mike Dolly. Can I speak on the cleaning of the buses?
Absolutely.
All right. We are currently doing sanitations at 7 different areas throughout the city as the bus comes into the turnaround spots. So we do have outsourced staff that we're using to keep the buses sanitized, to keep our patrons safe. We are doing that. And we also clean when the vehicles come into the facilities at night. So we are at this point trying to do everything we can to keep the vehicles clean. If you do see a vehicle that's really bad, please call our customer service so we can follow up and find out what would happen on that vehicle.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Fantastic job, Mr. Dolly. Let me follow up with the fact that as we move forward with the recent cleaners, they're taking it to the next level. They're cleaning and they're sanitizing. Instead of just spraying and wiping, instead of just wiping things down, they're spraying, they're wiping, they're using the top of the line items. There are other things that are out there that we are exploring. There are ionizers that can be put inside of the buses. There are filters that can be put inside of the buses. We are looking at all of that. I'm not a big proponent of putting an overhead sprinkler in because I don't know how you feel, but if I'm standing on the bus and I feel a whole bunch of water sprinkling on me, something's getting ready to happen. But I do understand what you're saying. We are looking at everything. And we're working hard. Again, if you see a bus that's not clean, or if you see a bus stop that's not clean, I'll call our customer service and we'll get right on it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Patty, you're the
Ayabami.
next hand up.
Kristen,
Yes.
before you get to that, one more thing, because there was a question about the paper schedules and having vending machines outdoors. I forgot to comment on that. I think it's important. We are working with finance to come up with a solution to possibly have some type of vending machine that can do just that. We would probably start with it inside to see if it can take and see how it works with the weather. But eventually our goal is to have vending machines throughout the system to be able to accommodate that. So we are looking at that also.
That's a great update. Thank you.
Patty, you can go ahead.
Hi, yeah, this is Patty Fedewa. Yeah, I submitted some questions on Tuesday. I don't think they've been answered, so I'm going to go through some of these. First of all, the website, the DDOT website doesn't have the pullouts and timeliness. They only have some listed from October. We'd like that updated. And timeliness, it just doesn't seem like it would be 90%. I mean, I can just tell you that Van Dyke Lafayette, when it's supposed to leave around 8:50 in the evening, it usually doesn't leave till 9, even though the bus is there. There was supposed to be a big recruiting push, started at the end of last summer. I was told you're hiring all these people, it's going to be really great. I was just wondering how many drivers and other folks were hired from that push. And Director Oglesby, don't get cold walking to your car. If you're going to get cold, take a bus. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that positive input. I think the recruiting push, I know that Marianne Walsh could probably speak to this, but we did a big recruitment push with the hope to have as many people as possible. We didn't say it was going to be really great. I don't know about that one, but I do know that we were hopeful that we got as many as possible. Let me give you a statistic. Just recently, I found out, I was really excited that we had 18 operators potentially to come on board. That ended up dwindling down after they started training down to 10. And then after we got, they finished training for whatever reason, we're at 3. So the challenge isn't necessarily trying to get people, it's trying to maintain and sustain. And some people just aren't cut out to want to drive a bus. They think they or operate a bus. They think they want to, then they don't. So we are trying the best that we can. We are still doing a big recruiting push. We're going to continue to recruit. As a matter of fact, if you and the riding public know anybody or have any suggestions on how to get more operators, I encourage and ask for you to help us figure out how to do that. Just the other day, I was out at Rosa Parks talking to the bus operators before I got on the bus. To your comment of the automobile, And we had a lot of conversation about where things were. I was able to ride around and see what's going on. So to the point of the riding public, I am out there. You can ask the operators, and I am riding the buses. Mary Ann?
Yes, thank you, Director Oglesby. We did do a enormous push over the summer. Actually, Ms. Fidowa, we ran into each other in one of the neighborhoods that we were doing a job fair in. It was good to see you in person. We had approximately 80 applications as a result of our push, and we hired we made offers to probably 40 people, 35 people accepted. Out of those 35, we hired 28, and out of those 28, approximately 14 remain. We have a class in class actually right as of January 10th of 6. It was supposed to be 10. It wound up being 6, and we expect to have another class, hopefully of as many people as possible, as qualified, as eligible, on February 14th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think
The next
before,
hand up-
can I
go ahead.
interrupt? There is a comment. I just want to go ahead before it moves past us. That's from Ms. Marguerite, that some drivers are not letting them clean at Rosa Parks Transit Center, that it's not clean. So can we address that?
This is Rich from Safety. Safety has worked with the contractor and has had multiple discussions with operations that the contractor should report to safety any operators that are refusing to deboard the coach for the cleaning to take place. So I have not received any complaints of it from the contractor, but I will certainly reach out to them.
Thank you.
Reverse. Next.
Uh-oh. Hello. Good evening. Can y'all be heard?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Okay. My name is Larry Donald Burst, and I'm a volunteer transit advocate with Detroit's People's Platform Transit Justice Team. And I'm not going to wish you a happy new year because I don't know how your new year was, but I do wish you many more new years, all of you. Now, I have 3 essential points. 1, when it comes to buses being on time, yes, you measure, you count them going out, but you don't have anyone checking to see that drivers leave when they are supposed to leave. I recently had a driver that was 10 minutes late on a Woodward line, and when I approached her about it, she called me Mr. Larry because she knew who I was from having seen me at meetings and begged me not to do it because she had children. So I let it slide. But it's your all's fault for not having people out there making sure that drivers are doing what they are supposed to be doing. Secondly, you have claimed that it would reduce this, how should I put it? The language you use is not effective, especially when it comes to recruiting drivers, because you aren't selling what you're supposed to be selling. You're supposed to be selling, this is a family unit that you can have at home. Be home every night. And you aren't, I haven't seen it in any of the 8 truck driving schools that I have been to that issue CDLs. I haven't seen it there. There is no advertisement. There is no recruitment posters. No, nothing. Nobody's ever heard of it there. Third, the changes that you made in November were a disaster. All it did was extend the time between buses not showing up. And I think you failed to realize the consequences of that. Think about this, the long-term effects. John works in the suburbs. He can't get to work because the bus doesn't come. He loses his job. He has a wife and 2 kids. He's got
Mr. Verse, that is time.
Thank you.
Thank you. I know there were several comments there. Do we want to go first?
I guess I'll start off, Melvin Barkley from operations. You discussed about no one's paying attention to the operators. We do have service inspectors out on the road. They're out for 24/7 paying attention to our operators. They can be seen, they're reporting when our operators are late, responding to any incidents, accidents that we have. So we are out there and we'll continue to be out there to pay attention.
Liar.
And this is Mary Ann Walsh. Thank you for the suggestion about advertising in CDL schools. I do want to add that DDOT requires everybody to have a Michigan license, prefers a chauffeur's license, and or even better would be to have the CDL. However, we train them to get the CDL once they're hired.
What the hell does that have to do with getting the people in the school in the first damn place? You gotta get 'em
Mr.
from
Verse,
somewhere.
Mr. Verse, language.
Oh, I thought my mic was off. Come on, phone. Come on.
Okay, I muted.
Okay, let's.
Can
The
we,
next,
there was a
uh,
question,
ahead.
since we just had Ms. Walsh or Ms. Pittman, there was a question about the number of operators. Can we give a estimate that we have right now that's in chat?
But before you continue, I think there was a question about the November service that I think Mr. Petronik should answer.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director Oglesby. Yes, I will. As Director Oglesby, as we had in our presentation at the very beginning of the meeting, we are before the November changes, we were operating like 75 to 80% of our scheduled service every week. I mean, since the November changes, we're operating at least 90% of our scheduled service. And on some weeks, we've gone as high as 97%, 96%, 95%. So there are a lot fewer missed trips on the schedule than there were before. But as Director Oglesby explained, the amount of service we're putting out on the street is about the same. It's just that we don't have all these, the schedule that we have now is more right-sized for the amount of operators that we have. And that is what is the problem, is that we don't have enough operators. It's not the budget, it's that we don't have people to drive the bus. So when we have good attendance, we come very close to 100% of the service in the schedule being on the street. And that is our goal. We, rather than adding trips on paper that can't be on the street, we want to operate everything that's in our schedule. And then we can think about adding more trips to the schedule. But we need to be able to operate every trip that's on the schedule.
Right. In short, let me just simplify it to make it extremely simple. Our old schedule had a schedule that indicated that the bus was going to be coming more frequently, but we didn't have enough operators. So people were waiting out for long periods of time anyway. The service was not taking place. So if I snapped my fingers and said, you know what, Mr. Verse, you have a point. Let's bring it right back to where we are. You will be waiting for a bus that will not show up, that is on the schedule. We have now created a schedule that the buses will show up on. I know you look at it as, but you're spreading out the amount of time. But if I had a bus and I said it was coming and it wasn't coming, which you have told me many times, we fixed it by presenting it so the buses will come. Now, have we been perfect? No, that's why we're saying we're at 90%. Part of it is because of the holidays. Part of it is because of the variant, and we're having some issues there. But I think we're doing a pretty good job given what we are doing and what we promised, and we're going to continue to do it. Once we start getting more people, we're going to add to the service and then add to a schedule. And then now when you see that schedule bus coming in a shorter period of time, it will actually show up. And it's that cut and dry.
Steve, do I see your hand back up? Is that new? Okay. Okay.
Phone number ending in 585, you're next. Five 85.
Okay. My name is Kim Smith. I'm with Detroit People's Platform Transit Justice Team. I just wanted to get some clarity on your relationship with DPW. What tasks do you allot to them on your behalf?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. I was asking what your relationship is with DPW and what tasks do you allot to them on your behalf?
They are removing bus stops and putting up bus stops for us.
Okay. So they don't do anything in terms of cleaning the bus shelters
That's
around the city?
That's GSW.
Okay. Thank you.
Actually GSD, but yeah.
Oh yeah, GSD, right.
Thank you.
Phone number 937.
Hello, how you guys doing? My name is Omar Patton. I did not know about this, but an activist Cunningham led me to the Zoom, and I strongly believe the Detroit bus routes are consolidated, leaving a lot of us riders struggling. Buses don't come when they're supposed to come, and they are late, or sometimes too early, to the point we miss the bus. Overall, the system does not work. There's going to be a lot of people out here with frostbite, elderly that can't get to a stop within 10 minutes, access to grocery, health foods, medical care appointments, etc. The ones that's hiding behind the scenes, they should get out, ride the buses more often, see what it's like, the time that they're standing at the stop, and then maybe they'll have some feeling towards what we as the riders are going through. One night, I was coming home, and I stay on 7 Mile and Telegraph, and I was coming from Fairlane Mall. Bus, which is the Michigan that runs to Fairlane Mall, didn't come. So we walked from Fairlane Mall to Greenfield, Michigan, where the bus was supposed to come. But that bus wound up coming 2 hours later, which is at like maybe at 11 at night. And then it took me down to Greenfield to Grand River. And I waited for the Grand River bus to take me to 7 Mile and Grandview for 5 hours. And I didn't get home till like 6 o'clock in the morning one night. And that's a long time to be standing out there. And there was plenty of us standing out there because a lot of people had just got off work. So it's like the buses are very in need of a lot of drivers, and they are leaving a lot of people out here.
That is time. And I know it was mentioned before, just a reminder, when these incidents happen, please report those in real time if you can, if it's during the regular hours, between 6 to 6 to customer service, 933-1300, or you can always, there's also feedback on the website that's monitored, or you can email d.comments@detroitmi.gov. So please let us know. That's one way that we can address those issues as soon as they happen.
Okay, thank you. Brenda Springs.
Good evening. It's actually Jerry Springs. I am a community liaison with Council Member Fred Durhall III's office, Detroit City Council. And I'd like to start off by saying that I wanted to find out the marketing strategy that is currently being used to promote the EcoLane mobile app. I do want to congratulate Ms. Moore in rolling this out back in October when we did the Zoom calls for the disability task force. Ms. Moore was on the call on several occasions and she spoke very highly of this app. And it was much anticipated by members of the disability community. So my question is, what marketing strategy are you using to ensure that you reach the widest and broadest segment of the disability community? And then secondly, what has been its impact?
Good evening, Simone Moore, trans staff. Thank you, Mr. Springs, for all of the nice comments that you made. It's definitely a pleasure to speak on the panel that you have when we meet. As far as the marketing strategy with the EcoLane app, the app is for those riders who have been deemed eligible for the paratransit program. So when anyone calls into the call center for paratransit, there is a greeting, the 313-208-7363 phone number, and we introduce the app on the recording, the voice recording. We also have our agents incorporate that into their call center script. So during each phone call, when you're calling to schedule a ride, the representative will ask you if you are interested in the EcoLane mobile app. We have got some very positive feedback from the EcoLane app. There were some discrepancies, as I'm sure you are familiar with, as far as the screen reader with the iPhone. The development team is still working out details. We had to bring a third party in specializing in that to get those kinks worked out, and it's still in the development phase with as far as the reader is concerned. But we have had positive feedback. Many people enjoy and use the app, but as far as the marketing, it's done through the call center and on the recording. In forums like this as well.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Phone number ending in 403.
Hello, my name is Jacqueline Austin. I called in earlier via Zoom, and I just wanted to piggyback off the last comment. That is basically the ask. How's that being disseminated through email, snail mail, etc., to the broader community of riders, which is the ADA community? We've made several asks. My name is Jacqueline Austin, through Detroit People's Platform advocate, organizer for that opportunity to happen, and it may have fallen on deaf ears. I'm sure that's not the case in 2022, but if someone can address that, I still wait. My mailbox is always open to you guys. If you could send that to all the individuals that you have documented receiving services, application renewal, etc., apps, whatever, sent to us via mail, snail mail, email, etc., text, whatever the case, whatever you have to do. If you check back in your archives, we've disseminated that information to you as a help. You've asked us to help you do this. So I'd like for us to move forward in that operation and to get this done, like now. Thanks so much.
Kristen, this is
oh, go
Mary
ahead.
Ann Walsh. I believe we're at right around the 6:30 mark now.
We are. So that's we had a new hands. Do we want to end it at 6:30? We can take the rest of the comments via email. Is that what?
Yes, that would be ideal. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, yes, it is 6:29. So we are, again, due to time. If anyone did not get their question answered tonight, please email us at d.comments@detroitmi.gov, and we'll make sure that we follow up with you. So again, d.comments@detroitmi.gov. We apologize that we know, but the time is 6:30, and we will make sure we follow up. Any closing remarks from Mr. Oglesby?
None other than the fact that thank you everybody for coming out. We're going to take the rest of the information, take a look at it, and perhaps I hope it's some good stuff that I can use to move forward to try to help enhance the system. We need to all work together. Our goal is to work with you. We're not working against you. We have our finger on the pulse. I have the finger on the pulse, and I have a customer service team that's second to none that will take your information, and I guarantee you they let me know what's going on. We are lockstep and ready to go. So keep giving us the information. We'll keep pushing and improving. We appreciate you all, and thank you.
Have a good night, everyone.